Throughout the scriptures, we read the great importance and significance of trumpets. The scriptures teach us of the trumpets blown during the time of Joshua. The sound blast, with the help of the angels, knocked down the city's stone walls. Scriptures tell of the trumpets announcing war, as well as the initiation of the movement of the camp. The trumpets are blown for each monthly new moon feast. The trumpets announce the destruction of this current world order. And so very, very importantly, the trumpets announce the coming of our Messiah, Yeshua. It's no wonder that there is an annual holy day called the Feast of Trumpets, recognizing all of these biblical events. Although our current Bible gives so much information regarding the Feast of Trumpets, there's one area that it doesn't focus on, and that is the history of the beginnings of this Feast of Trumpets, which occurs on the new moon of the 7th month in every year. For the very, very early history of the Feast of Trumpets, we must read from the book of Jubilees, which was found in the Dead Sea Scrolls along with other Bible scriptures. The book of Jubilees teaches a great deal of history for each of the 7 holy days, as well as the detailed laws on the Sabbath and many other subjects. The history of the Feast of Trumpets starts in the book of Jubilees, chapter 5, verses 29, and chapter 6, verses 26. Shows how the new moon of the 7th month, as we know it today as the Feast of Trumpets, was shown as important to Noah because on that day the flood waters of the ocean abysses opened and the waters were able to drain down to allow the earth to become dry. In Jubilees chapter 12, verses 1, 4, 5, and 16 through 27, we are shown that Abram, later renamed to Abraham, on the night of the Feast of Trumpets, that he recognized that Yahweh truly is supreme, and he chose to serve him only.
And it came to pass in the 6th week, in the 7th year thereof, that Abram said to Terah his father, saying, Father. And he said, Behold, here am I, my son. And worship them not. Worship the God of heaven, who causes the rain and the dew to descend on the earth, and does everything upon the earth, and has created everything by his word, and all life is from before his face. Why do ye worship things that have no spirit in them? For they are the work of men's hands. And on your shoulders do ye bear them, and ye have no help from them. But they are a great cause of shame to those who make them, and a misleading of the heart to those who worship them. Worship them not. In the 6th week, in the 5th year thereof, Abram sat up throughout the night on the new moon of the 7th month to observe the stars from the evening to the morning, in order to see what would be the character of the year with regard to the rains. And he was alone as he sat and observed. And a word came into his heart, and he said, All the signs of the stars, and the signs of the moon and of the sun, are all in the hand of the Lord. Why do I search them out? If he desires, he causes it to rain, morning and evening. And if he desires, he withholds it, and all things are in his hand. And he prayed that night, and said, My God, God most high, thou alone art my God, and thee and thy dominion have I chosen. And thou hast created all things, and all things that are the work of thy hands. Deliver me from the hands of the evil spirits who have dominion over the thoughts of men's hearts, and let them not lead me astray from thee, my God. Establish thou me and my seed forever, that we may not go astray from henceforth and forevermore. And he said, Shall I return unto Ur of the Chaldees, who seek my face, that I may return unto them? Am I to remain here in this place, the right path before thee? Prosper it in the hands of thy servant, that he may fulfill it, and that I may not walk in the deceitfulness of my heart, O my God. And he made an end of speaking and praying, and behold, the word of the Lord was sent to him through me, saying, Get thee up from thy country, and from thy kindred, and from the house of thy father, unto a land which I will show thee, and I shall make thee a great and numerous nation. And I will bless thee, and I will make thy name great, and thou shalt be blessed in the earth. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curse thee. And I will be a God to thee and thy son, and to thy sons' sons, and to all thy seed. Fear not from henceforth and unto all generations of the earth. I am thy God. And the Lord God said, Open his mouth and his ears, that he may hear and speak with his mouth, with the language which has been revealed. For it had ceased from the mouths of all the children of men from the day of the overthrow of Babel. And I opened his mouth, and his ears, and his lips, and I began to speak with him in Hebrew, in the tongue of the creation. And he took the books of his fathers, and these were written in Hebrew, and he transcribed them, and he began from henceforth to study them. And I made known to him that which he could not understand, and he studied them during the 6 rainy months.
In Jubilees chapter 31, verses 1 through 5, and verses 24 through 32, shows Jacob causing his entire household to get rid of their pagan idols, including his wife Rachel, on the very day of the Feast of Trumpets. And he, on that same day, offered his sacrifice to Yahweh and invited his parents, both Isaac and Rebekah, to the sacrifice of the Feast of Trumpets.
And on the new moon of the month, Jacob spoke to all the people of his house, saying, Purify yourselves, and change your garments, and let us arise and go up to Bethel, where I vowed a vow to him on the day when I fled from the face of Esau my brother, because he has been with me, and brought me into this land of peace. And put ye away the strange gods that are among you. And they gave up the strange gods, and that which was in their ears, and which was on their necks, and the idols which Rachel stole from Laban her father, she gave wholly to Jacob. And he burnt and brake them to pieces, and destroyed them, and hid them under an oak which is in the land of Shechem. And he went up on the new moon of the 7th month to Bethel. And he built an altar in the place where he had slept, and he set up a pillar there. And he sent word to his father Isaac to come to him to his sacrifice, and to his mother Rebekah. And Isaac said, Let my son Jacob come, and let me see him before I die. And Jacob went to his father Isaac, and to his mother Rebekah, and to the house of his father Abraham. And he took 2 of his sons with him, Levi and Judah. And he came to his father Isaac, and to his mother Rebekah, his father everything during the night, how the Lord had showed him great mercy, and how he had prospered him in all his ways, and protected him from all evil. And Isaac blessed the God of his father Abraham, who had not withdrawn his mercy and his righteousness from the sons of his servant Isaac. And in the morning Jacob told his father Isaac the vow which he had vowed to the Lord, and the vision which he had seen, and that he had built an altar, and on that everything was ready for the sacrifice to be made before the Lord as he had vowed, and that he had come to set him on the ass. And Isaac said unto Jacob his son, I am not able to go with thee, for I am old, and not able to bear the way. Go, my son, in peace, for I am 165 years this day. I am no longer able to journey. Set thy mother on an ass, and let her go with thee. And I know, my son, that thou hast come on my account. And may this day be blessed on which thou hast seen me alive. And I also have seen thee, my son. Mayest thou prosper, and fulfill the vow which thou hast vowed, and put not off thy vow. For thou shalt be called to account as touching the vow. Now therefore make haste to perform it. And may he be pleased who has made all things, to whom thou hast vowed the vow. And he said to Rebekah, Go with Jacob thy son. And Rebekah went with Jacob her son, and Deborah with her, and they came to Bethel. And Jacob remembered the prayer with which his father had blessed him and his 2 sons, Levi and Judah. And he rejoiced and blessed the God of his fathers, Abraham and Isaac. And he said, Now I know that I have an eternal hope, and my sons also, before the God of all. And thus it is ordained concerning the 2, and they record it as an eternal testimony unto them on the heavenly tablets.
We are shown that many important events took place on each of the 7 holy days.